What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are restarting something that I have wanted to do for a while. I did 2 videos on this in the past and they did all right, but at the end of the day I think it's just a good idea to do this video at least every season or so. And now we're at the end of the year. Basically the finals are almost over, just a few more weeks, maybe like a week and a half before it'll be over, no matter what it goes to. And I want to get my final rankings out here. Now, I did 2 of these videos. As I said, I got the point guard and shooting guard videos done maybe about 6 months ago. You guys can go check those out, and they'll be in this corner over here if I pop them up there. So you guys can go check out those videos. They're, you know, they're older, so I wasn't as comfortable on camera. So hopefully you guys will be able to live with that. But I did those videos, and I kind of just winged it, and I feel like I didn't put a lot of thought behind all of my processes. And this one I found is almost all of the point guards. That one I believe I only did the starting point guards. So this one, after the season, you know, we've already seen who the best guys are, who struggled this year. These are guys that I think have stood out the most to me. And let's go ahead and hop right into the rankings because it's going to be pretty easy. Top 5. Really no debate here. You've got Luka there, and in my opinion, he's probably at the moment the best point guard in the NBA. If we find, there's a few duplicates on here for whatever reason, but number 2 I would say is Steph Curry. Then we follow that up. We've got some good point guards, but I'm going to go with a Jamal Marant here in the 3rd position. I just think, you know, he really came out this year. As we all know, he won Most Improved Player. Whether you agree with that or not, he deserves some type of award, and I'm just glad that he was able to get that because, man, he played amazing this year. Now we really got to get into the gritty of it because it's a little bit more difficult once you get out of those top 3. I'm gonna give Damian Lillard the benefit of the doubt that he was injured, that his team was bad this year, so he struggled to play. So I'm gonna give him in that top 5 spot, or number 4 spot of the top 5, because I think he can come back next year and play better. Now this 5th spot is gonna be really difficult because we've got a lot of interesting choices, but I'm going to go with Darius Garland. Now, you might be thinking that's a little crazy this early on in his career, but I feel like we've seen him take leaps every year in his career, and this year was no different. He was able to make the All-Star team. Cleveland, they didn't end up making the playoffs. They lost in the play-in, but he had a great season overall. Just a good year if you're a Cavaliers fan, so that's going to be my 5th best point guard in the NBA. And now we get into the top 10, and this is where it gets a little bit more dicey. Chris Paul, I'm going to put right outside the top 5. I think I have him at number 6 right here. I will reorder at the end, and if I feel the need to, but I'm going to keep Chris Paul at the number 6 spot right there because I think he has, you know, fallen off just a little bit. We saw it in the playoffs. We saw it a little during the regular season where he struggled, but I think he's still a top 6 point guard in the NBA, so I think that's a fair placement for him. At number 7 now, where's the guy I wanted to put there at number 7? Where is he? DeJounte Murray. Am I blind? There he is. DeJounte Murray. Love the way he plays. You know, just a great, probably one of the best guard defenders in the NBA, and his offense continues to improve, so I'm very, very happy to put him at that number 7 spot just because of the way he plays. And number 8, a little bias here, but I'm going with, no, actually I'll put Drew at, what, 9? Then I'll put Trey at number 8. So before we talk about Drew, I'll get to Trey. I just saw him down there. I forgot about him for a second there. But Trey Young, great 3-point shooter, can't play defense, so that's probably the reason I put him a little lower than a lot of people would have him. But obviously, he's still one of the best guards in the NBA. He's definitely top 10. I wouldn't see putting him anywhere out of the top 10. Farthest I go is maybe 9, but I think he's just got a slight edge on offense over Drew, so that makes him a little bit better of a player considering how poorly Drew Holiday shot in the playoffs. But that's why I'm putting Drew at number 9. The best guard defender in the NBA. You can hear it from so many other NBA players. I don't care what Marcus Smart won. Drew Holiday is the best guard defender in the NBA. He can play bigs too. We saw it last year. He guarded Kevin Durant in that series, and he did all right. I mean, you can't stop Kevin Durant. You just got to slow him down, and that's the main reason Drew is this high. His defense is legit. He struggles shooting-wise in the playoffs, but can't really hold it against him considering how much effort he puts out on the offense or defensive side of the ball. Then we're going to put Kyrie. Now, Kyrie, you know, he probably could be a little higher if this is a few years ago, and you guys might disagree with this, but I think the last few years have been very difficult on Kyrie. The whole part-time player thing was a little tough, and whether you agree or disagree with his political views, it's really difficult to say he's a top 5 point guard in the NBA still when he's not playing consistently. So that's why I put him down at 10, and that's why I don't have anybody up there that has been plagued by injuries, just because it's kind of hard to say you're a best point guard in the NBA if you can't stay healthy. That's one of the parts of being a best point guard in my opinion, so that's probably why I put Kyrie this low. And now we get into the top 15, so that's pretty easy. The top 10 right there. There could be a few changes. I mean, I could see some people already ranking like LaMelo in the top 10. I don't think he's there quite yet. He's definitely going to be in my 15 spot here. But first off, we have Ben Simmons. Still a great player. I'm a big Ben Simmons fan, and I think he still can play great. And with his defense and the way he facilitates, if he just improves his offense and his confidence a little bit, it's going to be a much easier time for him overall. But that's the main reason he dropped so far. And as we know, all this drama stuff going around where he's not been playing for over, a year now? Maybe close to that. And it's just unnecessary. And that's definitely the reason he's this low. He's got to be able to fix that and just stop being so dramatic. And if he plays for the Nets, they're back in the finals, or not back in the finals contention next year. I guarantee it. No matter what happens with Kyrie or KD, because Ben Simmons is a legit NBA player. He just got to get out of his own head. And honestly, that's the main reason why he struggles so much, in my opinion. Now we have who would I say is next? I kind of scrammed together these last few, like after I got out of the top 15, so it's a little difficult to decide. I'm going to put Lonzo Ball there at the 12th spot. You know, he's a great defender, a great playmaker, and he has improved his offense a lot. I think he still has steps he can take to maybe even jump into that top 10. He did get injured, so maybe that's a reason he didn't take that leap, and he was playing well with the Bulls. Interested to see what happens with Zach LaVine if maybe he leaves. Maybe the Bulls focus on Lonzo a little bit more considering they have him under contract. I don't know exactly where they're going to go with that, but he's definitely there as the 12th best point guard in the NBA. And who would I say is next? Where's Marcus Smart at? As much as I hate to say it. Is he on here? If Marcus Smart is on here, I cannot find him. It's possible I'm just blind and completely looking over him, but looks like Marcus Smart is not on here, so maybe they're categorizing Marcus Smart as a shooting guard, which, I mean, I guess I could see him. Yeah, it looks like he's not on here, so we'll go to the next one. We'll cut him out of this one, and Jamal Murray is the guy I've got next at that 13th spot. Obviously, this is a little controversial just because I went on that tangent about injuries, but the main thing about Jamal Murray is he was not injury prone before this last year. He kind of just got the one bad injury, and now he hasn't played in a little over a year. And when we did see him last, he was playing solid. He was playing at an all-star level, in my opinion, especially in the bubble. And that was about the last time we've seen him. So I think they can come back. If he comes back, the Nuggets can get back into contention, in my opinion. You know, he's getting a little older. He's still not 30 yet, so they've got a lot of time for him to improve and get back to where he was at. That's why I'm going to put Jamal Murray at that 13th spot, just because I think he is ready to be there. And whether he's injured or not, he's going to come out and play hard. LaMelo Ball at the 14th spot, you know, kind of like his brother, he has struggled more on the offensive side of the ball his first few years, but that's not to say he's a bad offensive player. By struggle, I mean just not done as well as he has shooting-wise as he can. Playmaking-wise, he hasn't been a great shooter at all. But his defense is good for his size in a point guard position, and his playmaking is amazing. And he's steadily been improving. You can tell he's been in the gym consistently trying to get better, and that's why I have him at that 14th spot, because LaMelo Ball, he's just a Showtime point guard. He's going to be a great guy. He's the future of the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to be the best point guard in the NBA at any point in his career, but he'll definitely crack the top 10 if he keeps up the projection he's on, and that's why I've got him where he's at in that 14th spot. Finally, 15th overall best point guard. We'll go with Russell Westbrook. Now, I could see a lot of people putting him down here in the 20s, but I just don't agree with that. I think Russell Westbrook is still the guy we used to know, the point guard we used to know, but the teams he's been playing on, they haven't been built for him. As a player, he's not built for championship runs where he's not the starter or the star center of attention, and that's really hurt him. Now, a lot of people forget how good or how entertaining and good that Rockets team with him and Bradley Beal was, and the Rockets team with him and James Harden came out to be, and the Rockets team with him and Wizards team with him and Bradley Beal came out to be. And that's why I rank him still high, because he has gas in the tank still, in my opinion. I don't think it's as drastic as like NBA 2K makes it look to be, or a lot of fans make it out to be. I think he's got gas in the tank still, and that's why I rank him so high, at least compared to having a bad season, which wasn't even a terrible year. For anybody else, it would have been great, but because it was Westbrook, they rank him that low. Now, 20th overall, De'Aaron Fox, a guy that consistently disappoints, and I expect to take leaps. Rarely does he make those leaps, and I just don't think I still don't think he's ready to make a leap with the Kings being as bad as they are, and whether they had Sabonis or not, I don't think the Kings are going to make that move or jump into the playoffs. Maybe the play-in and they get lucky, but I just don't think the Kings are ready. 21st overall, I go with Kyle Lowry. Now, he flops a lot. He is not been the most efficient offensive player this year, and he's definitely not been the piece the Heat thought they were getting outside of trading Goran Dragic for him, a guy that didn't play at all this year for the Raptors. He refused to, honestly, I believe. So that's a positive for the Heat. They got Lowry in return for a guy that's aging and didn't play at all this year. But Kyle Lowry was struggling on offense. He's still a decent defender. I don't think he's got a lot left in him. As far as multiple playoff runs, maybe he's got 1 or 2 more years, but after that, I kind of feel like he's done for what he's going to be able to do. So that's why I rank him this low, now the 22nd spot. D'Angelo Russell in at the 23rd spot. I would have ranked him a little higher if his playoff series hadn't went the way it would or did go. And if he gets traded, maybe he can kind of revitalize his career. In my opinion, he definitely needs a change of scenery, and the Timberwolves could use some assets back for him, considering how terrible he played in the playoffs. So that's why I have him ranked 23rd. And now, Malcolm Brogdon, a former Milwaukee Buck. I loved playing for this team. Sad to see him go to Indiana when he left. Now I'm kind of happy about it. He hasn't stayed healthy. He's been good when he's on the court, but the time he's on the court is very little compared to how much he's injured or off the court due to other reasons. So that's why he's ranked here at the 24th spot, just because, like I said, if you can't stay healthy, you shouldn't be ranked that high, and that's why I have Malcolm Brogdon all the way down here. And finally, to round out the top 25, we'll go with Mike Conley. He definitely has improved over the first year in Utah. He's been a great three-point shooter, a great defender. Outside of that, he hasn't done too much playmaking-wise, so I think they could use some help. And with Utah looking like they might be rebuilding, trading both Mitchell and Gobert, if that happens, Mike Conley might get moved to a contender, something that I could see helping other teams out there, getting a guy like Mike Conley while he's still got a year or so left in him before he gets, out of his serviceable time. So that's why I think the Jazz have Mike Conley here at 25. But I think the Jazz should trade him just to get some assets in return and get Mike Conley to a situation where it would be better for him at his age. Now we get to the 25th through 30th spot. This one doesn't matter too much, and I'm actually trying to find anybody I forgot. We'll go with Spencer Dinwiddie at 26, as I cannot talk. He showed flashes in Dallas in the playoffs, struggled to get him consistently playing well, and that's why he's probably ranked so low after a decent year last year. So that's why I wouldn't rank him much higher than this. We'll go with Reggie Jackson, a guy that cannot make plays. Like, he's not a playmaker at all. He can't really play defense. He's just a pure offensive player, and that's kind of what the Clippers need. But at the end of the day, you could get a little bit more out of him. Then we're kind of speed through these last 6 or so. 23rd spot, you've got Kimball Walker, a guy that hasn't been nearly as good as he used to be. He's getting older. Don't think he has much left as far as being a starting point guard if they want to do that in New York, or if they want to trade him and, get another guy back. I think he could be a serviceable backup on a contending team. We'll go with Josh Giddey at 24. Why did I say 26? Haven't seen a lot of him this year. He was a good rookie. Great rookie season. Can't put him in above any of these guys, in my opinion, just because what they've proved. I mean, I guess maybe if you wanted to, you could put him up here at the front of 25, which would be the 21st spot, but I don't think that really makes much of a difference. We'll put Dennis Schroeder, behind him. Dennis Schroeder had an okay season after fumbling the bag major, and Cade Cunningham's on here. I just realized that. I'm not going to include him in the rankings. I always considered him more of a shooting guard, but Jalen Suggs will put him in at 31, or at 30. Yeah, that'd be 30. Or 26, as I can't math. And is that everybody? I think that's everybody. Well, Goran Dragic's on here. He doesn't really matter too much. And Devontae Graham. We'll just put them to round it out. And I think that is everybody in the rankings. I think I've ranked everybody. Because we'll put Cade Cunningham in here just to fill it out. He's not that far down if he's considered a point guard. But I haven't always thought of him as a point guard. Oh, John Wall's here. That's the final one. And that is 30 NBA point guards ranked from top 5 to the last 30 there, and kind of ignore the bottom row because it's out of order. And Cade Cunningham, if I considered him a point guard, he'd probably be more right here, in my opinion, over these guys. I'd probably put him about 20th right there. That sounds like a good spot, but I'm going to put him in the shooting guard tier list just because I think that's what he fits more. How do you guys feel about this tier list? Do you like it? What would you guys disagree with? Would you move some people around? Like I said, honestly, the top 10 you could probably arrange in different orders and it'd be fairly consistent, as long as you have Luka and Curry at the top. In my opinion, they're the best point guards in the NBA right now, so I wouldn't change them. Outside of that, you can probably rearrange how your opinion goes or what players you like more. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to see the next position, most likely going to skip to the centers after this. Thank you guys. If you want to see that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Turn post notifications on so you always know when I post a video, and you'll know when I post the next tier list video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.